Today we have joining us Bea Aguilan. Thank you for joining me on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I'm going to start off with the question, what is your story?
Oh my gosh. This is the question that I actually was dreading the most. Not in a bad way, but it was just something that I just didn't know the answer to or how to answer it.
Mm-hmm.
Because a story has so many components, right?
Right.
Like the character, the setting, the plot, the theme, there's so many, I don't know. But I guess if I can answer this as simply as I can, I guess I'll just use this as an introduction of like who I am as a character.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Bea Aguilan. I was born in the Philippines. I'm 23 years old, and I came here in the US when I was 5, turning 6, with my mom and my 3 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm aspiring to be a therapist. I'm not too sure what kind yet because there's so many branches of psychology. But that's kind of like my story in a very simple way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope I answered that well.
Well, it's mostly up to interpretation.
Yeah.
So I allow my guests to answer it in their own way.
Okay.
So I appreciate that. Do you remember an event in your past that's directly influenced you to be who you are today?
Yeah, there's so many. But what I want to talk about is probably like how I became like Christian, I guess. Like my faith is very important to me.
Yeah.
It's who I am.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like my faith is who I am.
Yeah.
It's how I go about my life, my values, how I act is based on like my relationship with God. So I guess if I can go back in time, an event that impacted my life and made me the way that I am today is probably when I was at my lowest. I wouldn't say it was depression because depression is so much more than that, but it was definitely a really, really sad season in my life where I felt really hopeless and really heartbroken. I'm not really going to say why, but it affected my worth, like the way that I see myself, and I felt really worthless and affected my education.
Yeah.
But the thing that was always there was my faith. And I think that has helped me get out of that darkness. God is like my father. And I grew up like, without a father figure. Like I said, I moved to the States with my mom and my 3 sisters. And there was a reason why it was just my mom and my 3 sisters. But I've always just saw God as a father figure. And I think that's.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing. So you would say that religion was like the primary factor that got you through the most difficult time of your life?
Yes, definitely. I wouldn't see like that word religion. I always debate with Alex about it because like I don't like to say it's like yes, Christianity is a religion. I am Christian, but I see it as like a relationship with God, not like a religion. You know what I mean? Like,
okay. Yeah. Then could you clarify that a little bit more? What do you think this separates your idea of religion with what you have, which is a relationship with God?
Oh my gosh. That's so deep. Oh wow. I don't know, because a lot of people fall out of Christianity because they view it as a religion. Like, oh, every Sunday I have to go to church. Every Sunday I have to, like listen to worship and go to the service and listen to the preacher speak. And it's just like a thing that you do every Sunday. But, and I used to think that way because I was Catholic before I was Christian, and I'm not too like knowledgeable about like that the Catholic side, but I did see it as a ritual almost like
Right.
it was ritualistic. Like every Sunday or every Easter, we wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then like you dip your finger on a well and like you do the cross, and like it was like everybody just did the same thing, but then outside of church, it's like they're different, right? And I can say that about myself too, because Christians are still people. Like we're still people. Like we're not perfect. Like just because we say we're Christians doesn't mean. And that's why I also don't like to think of it as a religion, because that's why people like Christians get like persecuted, because it's like there's some Christians are so like obsessed with calling themselves Christians that they kind of lose sense of like what it truly means to be one. And it's like, for me, it's like I just focus on who my Lord is and who like what he has told me to do and my purpose, not like I have to do this because I was told to. You know, I'm not too sure. Yeah.
So the way that I hear it, it kind of sounds more like you prescribe to your faith and your relationship with God as something that's personal to you versus taking on the identity of being a Christian, of labeling yourself as a Christian. Am I correct in saying that? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's very interesting. Because like it comes to the idea of like what you identify or how you identify yourself. And I think it's pretty awesome that you have a clear distinction of your own relationship with God and how that has really impacted your life versus just attaching a label and like you said, going through the motions of going through church just because you're so like quote unquote Christian, right? Yeah. What have you done in order to like solidify and bring your relationship with God closer? Like, because I'm curious as to like how this has helped you through that path, through those dark times. Like what specifically was really motivational and like transformative during that time?
Wow, that's a great question. Wow. Well, I became Christian when I want to say like 10, 11. Like I said, I was Catholic, and then I became a Christian.
Right.
I want to say like there is a word in the Bible. It says to be still and know that I am God. Right. So from 10 to my age 23, I'm 23. There's just so many things that happened in my life. And I wouldn't say like I was always this faithful, right? As a 10-year-old, I'm not going to be like super faithful, or I'm still going to be doing what every 10-year-old would do or a 16-year-old would do. And I still do things that I shouldn't be doing, right? Or I've gone through so many like traumatic experiences or struggles and sorrows that like shaped me to shape the way that I am. Sorry.
Yeah.
But like throughout that period of my life, I just, always maintained faithful. Like I never lost that faith that like there's a God out there, you know? Like, for example, when I was 16, I met this guy. I've only had 2 boyfriends, like the first one and then Alex. Okay. So this guy I'm talking about, when I go into a relationship, I am like there to like be there forever. Like I'm not gonna play around. I'm not like, and I'm not gonna like date you just because, I'm gonna date you because I want to grow with you and I want to get to know you and like, like grow together. And so I was really involved and really like devoted to this person. But like after 2 years, we dated for 2 years almost, like he cheated, very, very traumatizing and very heartbreaking. And that was the period where I was really like crushed and like I didn't care anything. I didn't care about anything but like just that feeling of heartbrokenness.
Right.
Like I dwelled in that pain,
Mm-hmm.
and I even like succumb. Is that the word?
Yeah.
I succumbed to like just being worthless, because it's like I question like, what did I do? Like, you know,
Right.
and we tend to do that, but I learned that wasn't the healthiest way.
Yeah, to deal with it.
But sometimes God allows things to happen to strengthen you, because all throughout that time of darkness, like I still like cried, but I didn't cry alone. I cried to God. Like I was like, God, why did you allow this to happen? Like, you know, like I don't know why, but because should I even say it? My dad was actually like, he actually cheated on my mom. This is like a thing that I was like, should I share this? But it is the reason why I was so like sad when I got cheated on, because as a child and you witnessing that with your parents, you would never wish for that to happen to you, right? But I also kept that to myself. Whatever happened with my ex and I didn't even tell my sisters or tell my mom, because I knew that they would be so heartbroken if I told them that happened to me. So I kind of just held it in. Yeah. And that's also why, like, whenever I would go to school, when my mom would drop me off and I was going through that, like, she didn't know that, like, I actually would be so sad that I would just leave school. Like, I would cry in class because, like, I was just so, like, heartbroken.
Yeah.
But all throughout that, I just remained faithful. Like, you know, like, there's always a light, and I'm just gonna, you know, like, do me and, like, remain, you know, like, believing and, like, remain strong. And I, you know, just looked past that experience, and I focused on myself, like, went back, you know, like, focused on school again, and, like, just got back up. You know, you fall and then you get back up, and you get back up stronger because you learn from it. And so that also taught me, like, how to, like, view, like, or, like, what to look for in, like, in a man. And I definitely did not want to look like, date like a guy like that, you know?
Right.
And so that's why, like, I'm so thankful for Alex, because he came into my life during that period of, like, me just focusing on myself, growing and bettering myself. And he was a part of, like, that growth, because I wouldn't say I was perfect, you know, like, ready to be in a relationship. And that's also what I want to talk about later. Like, you're never ready to be in a relationship. Like, the person that comes into your life, the person that you start dating, that's going to be your partner. You know, we call them, like, partnership. Relationship is a partnership. It's a friendship. And they, like, friends help you out, help you out. Friends encourage you. Friends correct you, you know? Yeah. And I see that in Alex. Yeah. Kind of went, like, over the thing, but it's fine.
Thank you for sharing, first off. Yeah. So would you say that it's your faith in your faith that God is looking over you and that everything's going to work out is what primarily helped you push through all the pain?
Definitely. Like, I have full confidence in that. That's, like,
Okay. No, I think that's really cool. Because I think, like, at least for me, I never really ascribed to religion or faith in that sense. I never really had a connection with God. So I think it's really interesting to learn about your experience with it, and basically, like, your personal relationship with God. Yeah, it's very interesting. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you about and ask you about is your identity as a Filipino-American. So, growing up in America, you said you were born in the Philippines and that you moved when you were young.
Yes.
How do you identify? Like, do you align more with the Filipino culture or with American culture, or where do you identify yourself as in terms of, like, culture, background, and, like, because there's always a clash.
Yes.
So I'm a little bit curious about that.
I agree with that. Yeah, I definitely identify as a Filipino-American. Yes, I was born in the Philippines, and a lot of that like is still with me, right? Because 5 years is, like I think the love of nature really stuck to me because I was born in the Philippines. I was born in a, the farm like area and like, seeing grass, like a field of grass and just, like that love for nature and that appreciation. And but I definitely would say I'm pretty Americanized. I think the only thing that has helped me like remain in my culture is being in a church full of Filipinos.
Yeah.
Like a lot of my church is pretty Filipino, but they've definitely helped me remain in my culture. My sisters, I'm the baby in the family, so they've definitely had more years in the Philippines. So we even speak the language at home. My mom doesn't really speak English that much, so she speaks to me in Ilocano and Tagalog. So and I still understand both dialects, both languages, but pretty Americanized. Yeah.
Okay. Do you wish or do you want to be more aligned with your Filipino culture? Is that something that like you wanna like you think about or put effort into?
I do want to learn the language again. Because I used to speak. I couldn't even speak English when I came here.
Oh.
Yeah. So I used to speak just full on Tagalog and Ilocano.
Yeah.
And I lost it, and it's kind of sad. But that's something I want to work on, especially because I'm going to be going back to the Philippines a couple more times. Yeah. And also back in 2019, I went back, and that's when I reunited with my dad. And it was hard to talk to him. Like I wanted to say so much, but I couldn't because I couldn't speak to him. So there's that language barrier, and I want to learn the language again so that I can communicate with him.
Yeah. Do you mind sharing a little bit about your reconnection with your dad? Like what are a couple of the things that you wanted to ask him?
Oh my goodness, there's so many. I mean, honestly, I didn't really have questions. I had more of things to say. Like I needed
to get off your chest.
Yeah. I'm not really like regretting any of that.
Right.
Because it's kind of like a self-healing thing.
Yeah.
Like I can't really do much if I can't talk to him, right? So I had to just do like a self-healing where like, okay, I forgive him. Like it's been 20 years, like nearly 20 years. And I'm sure like people make mistakes, I just gotta forgive and just move on and just grow from it.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't really have questions for him. I don't really have like a close enough relationship with him, which is kind of sad. But I have hope that like in the future we'll talk again.
Yeah. Is that something that you want to put energy and effort towards to deepen or rebuild your connection with your dad?
Oh, I do have that desire, but I just don't know how. Yeah, and like we're thousands of miles away.
Right.
I can't talk to him, so it's like it's just a matter of like when and how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of barriers right now. Yeah. Okay. Did your sisters also go on this trip with you and speak with your dad?
They did. Yeah. Okay. They speak the language, so they were able to talk and reconnect, and we all have a good relationship with him. You know, like it's fine now. But it's just me. Like I feel distant from him because I can't really talk to him, and vice versa. He can't talk to me. But we're good. Like we joke around, and we went on trips together. My mom and him reconciled, which is really good.
Yeah.
But he has a different family, so it's that makes it a little bit hard. As much as my mom wants to, like reunite as a family, it's just different now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of time has passed, so things are different. Yeah.
Yes.
I could imagine that. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is kind of a question regarding the balance between family and career. Or first off, would you say that family is a big value for you? Something that's important?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
So generally, we know that like women's fertility starts to decline around the age of 30, like starting by the age of 30. And so typically, however, that's also the age where women are like advancing in their careers, right? So it kind of comes to like a tipping point between choosing whether you or not you want to like start a family and have children, or whether or not you want to invest in your career, right? Because there's like, I think a lot of women's career paths suffer, or it becomes a lot harder, definitely,
Yes.
when you're starting to have a family. Is this something that you've thought about in terms of like balancing in the future?
To be honest, I really didn't really think about that.
Mm,
Like, that's not a pressure to me
right.
because I don't want to limit myself with just the thought that like, oh, I need to have a kid before 30 because it's going to be hard. It's just like I'm focusing on my career, but I'm also open to having a family anytime, you know?
Yeah.
Because I could still have like a career life while also trying to settle down with a family. Like, I didn't really want to like divide that because
Yeah.
I just didn't want to worry or pressure myself with it, you know? As long as I'm doing what I want to be doing right now, and if that opportunity opens up, like, I'm open, you know? Like,
Yeah.
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 But I definitely do want to have family. And have kids before 30, but at the same time, there's so many women that have had kids after 30.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're still successful.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So there isn't like a definite like plan as to timeline. It's just more like you're going to consider it later on in the future.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because another thing that at least like I think about is that the age, the age time frame when you should like ideally have children. Because like if you're pushing like closer to 40 and you're having children, I just think that it's a little bit more difficult in terms of parenting.
That's true.
Because you're reaching those later ages and trying to take care of a child, right? Like let's say you have a child when you're 40. When they're 18, you're gonna be 58.
Yeah.
Which is like something that you like
should consider.
Yeah, you should consider.
Yes.
It's just something that like crosses my mind.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true though. I should consider that.
Yeah. No, I'm not trying to like put any pressure on you to like
Yeah.
create a timeline or anything, but I just think it's really interesting. Because because I don't think that in terms of raising a family, it should fall, or the responsibility should fall on both parents, right? So I also think it's important for guys to think about this because it's a really important factor when raising children, because it's a conversation that you have to have.
Yes.
Right, with your significant other, because it's not one-sided, right?
Yes, right. That's right. But are you basing your timeline or like your goal of having a family? Is it based on your career? Like, because I feel like there's that pressure. Like, if you think about your career and where you want to be in life and like your family, I feel like the pressure is kind of like if you don't start working and having like a a solid like salary or like have like this income coming in, and then like you can't have a family. Like that stability. But like I don't know. Just cut that out. Actually, I don't know what to say.
or are you considering that because like a lot of people are saying nowadays that they don't want family or they don't want kids because it's expensive.
Yeah. That.
Right. Yeah. You bring up a very solid point. And so like I guess nowadays it becomes more of a concern to become more financially stable before starting a family. So I guess in that term, like, there is a difference, or you can't really align the two, because, like, to some people, their priority may be financial stability before raising a family,
which is very responsible.
Yeah, it's very responsible. So like I can definitely see that pushing back the timeline of having children.
Yeah, but I see myself on the other spectrum where like I just think about family, like starting a family and just like having that experience of like, you know, getting married and then moving into your own place with, you know, your husband and like having a family, rather than me worrying about like, oh, but then I have to have this much money. Like, yes, it is something I consider. It is something that I do plan like along with having a family, but like I feel like we're so, at least our generation is so focused on just like career and like having like being financially stable and then like it to the point where like nobody wants to have a family, or
right
or like, oh, I'll do it once I have like 100 like 6 figures and then like be comfortable, and then, you know, but then we just never know that, like, because like we also assume that we're gonna have like a partner already.
Yeah.
And a relationship takes so much like time, you know, like what if you're so focused on your career and like your job that you can't even have time to find somebody that you actually love and have a family with. Right. I don't know, that's something we should consider as our generation.
Yeah, no, you bring up a very good point, especially because I think speaking to your point, I think a lot of our mindset, like growing up, especially in America and California, it has to do with like consumerist. We're growing up in a very consumerist society, right? So it's all about like production. It's all about like income. It's all about money. And so I also think it's very sad that we have to feel like we have to reach a certain financial goal before we can start a family, which is something that's entirely different.
Yeah, that's like life right there.
Yeah,
that's literally living.
Yeah, okay. Creating a new generation.
It just got deep. I'm just kidding.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah,
that's what I love it. I love it. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's really important that we're like talking about it and we're like thinking about like the different implications of like starting a family.
Yes.
Having timelines for this.
Yes.
Yeah.
We definitely have to shift our focus sometimes. Like we're so focused on something.
Yeah.
Hyper focus. I mean, come on, like social media.
Yeah.
It's ironic because we're so hyper focused, but then we like lose our focus at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
Like our concentration and like attention span and stuff. I don't know.
Right.
Another thing.
Yeah. Like sometimes we just have to take a step back and like reevaluate our priorities. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that. Okay. So you did touch a little bit previously upon your relationship with Alex.
Yes.
So what has some context. How long have you been dating Alex?
Oh, okay. I've been dating Alex since April 13, 2018.
13. Oh, okay.
Officially.
2018, you said?
Yes, that's like our official date, but we were dating like a couple months, like 3 months prior. But it's been 5 years.
5 years. Wow. Okay.
Almost 6.
Okay. Oh, and for the audience that doesn't know, this Alex that we're talking about is Alex Kim. That was on our episode 2 with Servant. So
The one that tried to be the host. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That was a really good podcast.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So yeah. So 5 years. And I remember you guys met in high school, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Well, he went to Granada Hills with you guys, and then I went to Van Nuys
Right.
High School. So.
Okay. What is like? So it's obvious. I would classify this as long-term relationship, definitely.
Really? I'm just kidding.
You don't think so?
No. Super long.
What are like the biggest lessons that you've learned being in a relationship with Alex?
Dude, you have so many good questions.
Thank you.
Oh, a lot. There's so many. And I think that's like a characteristic of a good relationship. Because like I said earlier, a good relationship is a partnership.
Right.
It's like it's two individuals who like just love each other for who they are. Because that's, it's past the dating, where like you get to know each other.
Yeah.
But like you learn that you guys love each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then like you guys are still individuals that have different flaws and different like stories in life and different like family backgrounds and cultures. But yet like you have to like work together to make that work.
Yeah.
Yes. So Alex, he's just like a really, I don't know. Whenever I think of him, it's just like, like he has so many good qualities.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like in our relationship, I was like still in shambles. I was still like trying to work on like getting back up and stuff, and healing. And so there's a lot of things that I needed to work on that he had helped me with. One of them definitely patience.
Yeah.
That's one of the things, because he's such a patient person. And I'm not a very patient person. I can be, but communication. It's so funny because like as a aspiring therapist, you have to learn how to communicate and convey your feelings and emotions in a very healthy way.
Right.
But that's why like I love our relationship, because like he shaped me and like molded me to be the woman that I should become. Well, through God, of course. I'm not gonna glorify God. I mean, glorify Alex. But yeah, like, and what's the question again? Oh my gosh.
Like what are the biggest lessons that you've learned through your relationship with Alex? Like maybe about yourself or about, well, you've already touched upon like the relationship itself, that it's a partnership and that's something that you have to work together on. Maybe could you touch upon something that you've learned about yourself through the relationship?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Now that I've refocused, I definitely learned that I should love myself more. Yeah. Through Alex. Because he's such a, like you guys know Alex, he's just so full of love.
Yeah.
And he's definitely taught me that like the way that he talks to me, girls, take notes, but like how a guy should talk to you. It should be like to encourage you, to build you up, to make you like love yourself and like just like like that's how Alex is to me. Like he pushes me. He tells me like when I'm doing something wrong in a loving way, of course.
Yeah.
He's very patient with me and shows me that I should be patient with myself.
Yeah.
So it's like he reflects like what love is. And like he taught me that about myself, that I should reflect that to myself too.
So would you say that he's taught you how to be more loving to yourself, more kind and understanding?
Yes, I would say so. Okay. There's so many other things, but yeah.
What other things? I'm curious.
The things that Alex taught me,
or like things that you've come to realize through your time with Alex? Like maybe understanding yourself better through the relationship.
Oh, okay. Like seeing him with you guys, like your guys' friendship, really like impacted me in a very positive way. Like I always admired you guys' group. You know, everybody's such a character, and you guys like are just so loving to one another. And you guys have different backgrounds, but like, yeah, I just really admired how you guys' friendship. So that is something that like that Alex showed me like what true friendships are. I guess the way that Alex treats you all, like family, is that's something that I like that taught me. Like it's more of the actions that I observed that taught me.
Yeah. So has your observation of our friendship group, of our friend group, kind of given you a new perspective on how to view friends?
Oh yes, yeah. Okay. I would say so.
And you're speaking about how we're all loving with each other, right? Okay, so I guess mostly just like the spread and openly giving love to each other.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, that's what I got from what you're saying. Yeah. Just wanted to clarify. Yeah. Okay. Okay. In terms of dating, do you think there's a difference between chemistry and compatibility?
Chemistry. I would say that chemistry is the basis of compatibility. Like you cannot have chemistry. You cannot have compatibility if you don't have chemistry.
Okay.
Like I kind of view chemistry as like a short-term thing. Like you only feel the chemistry like when during the interaction.
Yeah.
But compatibility is something that you just realize like you have like in the long run.
Right.
Yeah, but it does make compatibility, like having chemistry, because that's when you realize like, oh, okay, like you and I like get along.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you and I like have the same humor, same values. Like that's the chemistry. That's like the connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say that chemistry is the first step before moving on to compatibility?
Yeah, I would agree to that.
Okay. So if there's no chemistry, but there is compatibility, do you think that it has potential to work, or is that something that you should like generally stay away from?
Well, if you think about it, like not in relationship, but like in friendship, right? So let's say like you and I are strangers and we're like talking. And yes, we have compatibility, meaning like we have the same, like we like the same kind of music, or we're both Filipinos and we both, we're just compatible. But if like there's no like chemistry, like there's no feeling of like we're not laughing at the same things, or like we're not like agreeing or going deep, like we're not talking deep about something together, then that am I gonna be like, are we gonna be friends? Are we gonna be like tight,
Right.
That's how I view it.
It's like hard to build upon, or like hard to deepen a connection without the initial chemistry.
Yes. Right. Like we'll get along, we'll be like, friends, but it's not gonna be like, oh, I want to see you tomorrow, like let's go hang out again, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because this is something that I was thinking about, because like a lot of values, a lot of similar values, or like what I view compatibility as is like similar values, similar lifestyles, similar outlooks on life.
That's good.
And so it's like this is kind of or like this is like my approach to dating. This is like how I kind of like filter for the people that I want to potentially date. I want to
hear this.
But what the part I struggle with is like chemistry. So like I can see the compatibility. I can see that if we align in certain things.
Okay.
But if there's no spark, which is like the chemistry, if there's no like mutual, if there's no if there's no fun, there's no like feelings involved. Like when you interact with this person, like what do you do? Do you like wait it out and see if it can build into something like can deepen, or do you like look elsewhere?
Well, I don't have like the right answer for that, but just based on my experience.
Yeah.
Like I've talked to guys, you know, before Alex, and like my intentions are always like good, you know, like, oh, if I like you, like I'll be open to dating you.
Yeah.
Right. And so you get to know each other. But yes, there was just no spark. There's just no chemistry. Like we got along, like we're friends, like we hang out, but then like, and there's like feelings there, right? But then like you just don't like, there's that thing that's missing. So I kind of like see where you're coming from with like, you like this person,
right?
But like, there's just no like emotional, no like vulnerability, or like no, like your heart doesn't skip a beat, or like doesn't give you butterflies. They don't give you butterflies. It's really like cheesy, but but I think that is something important to consider when you're finding somebody.
Yeah.
Because I definitely found that with Alex. You know, like after getting to know him and seeing like his like how he is as a person, like I wanted to like I had that hunger to like know more about him.
Yeah.
And I think that's the chemistry, I think. Like that's like it's brewing. Like, oh, like I really want to get to know this person. Like, and you're just excited to see this person.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that with the girls that you meet?
I did for like one or two of them. Yeah. Suffice to say, I'm not in a relationship right now.
Yeah.
But I did. Funny enough, and then the compatibility didn't work out.
Oh.
So, but I mean, that's another story for another time.
That's totally fine.
Okay. Did you feel if you remember, did you feel chemistry when you first met Alex? Like probably not like the initial interaction, but like your first date or second date?
Yeah. Yes, I actually did feel chemistry with Alex. Like the first date, I was just like, I just felt so comfortable with him. Like as if, and I feel like maybe that's just his like, you know, riz or whatever. Like he just makes you feel comfortable. But of course, like we had to have another date to like get to know each other and really solidify that like chemistry, or if it's just because like, you know, the moment thing. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely think I felt that with Alex. Yeah. It just gets stronger. It just gets stronger and stronger. But if it like weakens over time, then then it's like, bro, how are you expecting to have a relationship like long term if you lose that spark right away?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it should be something that's sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It should be constant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you lose that, then it's like you're losing feelings. I feel like the chemistry is like that, the heart beating, and like the compatibility is just looking at it overall. Like, are we gonna work out?
Yeah.
Like in the long run, but like the feelings, the chemistry has to stay for you to like
to continue. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. The compatibility is like your brain, like thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's like the overall picture.
Yes.
It's like trying to analyze what fits.
Like, are we gonna work out?
Yeah.
And then the chemistry is like I'm excited to see this person. Like, do I love this person? Like, yeah. Is this person handsome, or is this person beautiful? Like,
Yeah.
which, you know?
Yeah. It's actually very interesting that you said that on your first date he made you feel comfortable. I actually hear this a lot in terms of like relationships and in terms of being comfortable in each other's presence with significant others. Yeah, it's definitely like something I've heard multiple times.
Have you ever felt that way, like on your dates? Like,
I don't think I have, but do you think that it could be different for a guy versus a girl? Because as a guy, I feel a lot of pressure to make the date fun and exciting for the girl.
Oh no, don't have that pressure. Oh, I think it goes both ways though, because I could say that too. Like, I also have the responsibility. I also have the role to like make it, you know, as pleasing and as fun as possible.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't think that way. Like, just be there to like get to know that person and like don't feel pressured to make it like as grand or like go to the most like beautiful restaurant, you know? Like, you're just getting to know each other, and if they like you for who you are, then, you know?
Yeah, I think that's also something that I'm trying to come to more terms with, like just being myself and then letting others choose whether or not they like that or not.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to show some more other ugly things, ugly sides of you in the future. Yeah.
That's right. Going back to the comfortability thing. I'm not sure if that's a word, but
is that a word, Chris? Just kidding.
Being comfortability. Okay, we'll go with it. We'll roll with it. Going back to comfortability, do you think you could place your finger on what made you comfortable? Because I feel like it's a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
Because it's a feeling that like it's different with every person, every situation, every setting. Do you think there's something that's like stands out to you that made you comfortable about Alex?
It's so funny that you said this is a hard question to answer because I thought like I already had an answer when you asked me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The thing that made me super comfortable, I feel like we lack vulnerability. We lack as a society like just realness. Right? And that's what made me comfortable with Alex. Like on our first date, like he talked to me about like the sad part of his life or like this thing that impacted him.
Yeah.
When he went on a mission trip and like he like met this little boy who like he found out like his family background and then he also told me about like, you know, a lot of it was personal life. And he was just really vulnerable and really real. And that made me feel really comfortable to like also like be vulnerable and be real.
Yeah.
Because that's like when you talk to a friend or when you want to be friends or when you're striving to be more than friends, like you just gotta be comfortable and like to share anything.
Right.
Like just it's like I think it's such a deep thing too, because like we're so afraid to be vulnerable to one another. Like we have to be a certain way, have this certain career, or like be in this stage of life. But like we shouldn't be like that, you know? Like everybody's different. And that's what makes life so beautiful, and that's what makes people so like I guess like unique and like that's what makes you want to talk to people. It's like to get to know the real them, not just who they want to portray themselves to be.
Right.
Like right now, this podcast, like I think is so special because that's why I like was super like overthinking, but not in a bad way. I just wanted to portray myself the way that I want to be portrayed, not like, you know, just because we're mic'd up, like, you know, I want to I actually want to be real.
Yeah. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you.
I appreciate
I
that.
appreciate you for doing this podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. It's funny. I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
Did I talk too much?
No. It's just like I was so like taken in by what you were saying.
Mm.
Would you say that this, like, it relates to trust, like this vulnerability and this opening up? It was him being trusting with you, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because you can't be vulnerable to someone that you can't trust.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I trust you, so I was vulnerable with you.
Yeah,
you gotta trust your friends.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of, relationships in general, like, they do require a lot of trust. Yeah, and it shows who you are as an individual, right? Yeah. Okay. What are you currently learning?
I'm learning a lot of things. I feel like, and I want to like say it's because of my faith, because there's so much to it. Like the way that I view faith, or the way that I view my relationship with God, is that I'm constantly being like challenged and like being like, as a Christian, like we're all living this, like we all live the same life. We all go through struggles. We all go through pain,
Yeah.
But the only thing that's different with me is that like I have like somebody that I lean to when I go through that. And I don't just like think about it like, oh, it's just something I went through. I actually see something like a deeper meaning behind everything. Like, oh, why did I like get cheated on, or like why did my family separate, or like why did I have to move to the US? Like, there's so many reasons to things, and I just like go to God for those answers. I don't know if I like had said that the way that I should, but I don't know. Cut that. That thing. Sorry.
Okay.
But what was the question
again? Like what are you learning?
Okay, yes. What am I learning? Dude, sometimes like I think so much that like my mind just goes blank. Okay. What am I learning? Oh, okay. I'm learning to be more bold. I'm learning to be more confident. And I'm learning to have more, like, be confident in myself, because like I think we all struggle with, self-consciousness sometimes, or like we compare ourselves to others, or maybe not, I do, I don't know, but we're just afraid to say it. But I'm learning that everybody's different, and that I'm learning that your weaknesses are what makes you strong.
Right.
I'm learning that your struggles are what makes you like a warrior. Like when you train, you just become stronger. But with training, there's so much like pain, and there's so much like your muscles are literally getting torn, but like it regenerates and becomes like
stronger,
bigger muscles. Yeah, I'm just learning so much. I'm learning about like how communicating and just like reaching out to other people, and just being open to like, so like just socializing, like the importance of friends, importance of like just having interactions with people.
Right.
Like the pandemic kind of affected all of us, like negatively, like you're so shy. But I'm learning so much. I don't know.
In terms of being more bold, like what are the steps that you're taking? How are you pushing past your comfort zones in that? Like, do you have any recent examples of a time when you were more bold than you usually are, or where you try to take that step?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a minute to think about that, because Mm. Hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, in everything that I say today, like, I want to just, like, glorify God. Just because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't, that's how my faith is. Like, like, everything that I am and everything that I've done, and it's because of, like, God. Like, everything that I have, it's because of God. So, with the boldness thing, I just, like, we have, like, I've already had boldness inside of me.
Yeah.
I already had, like, authority and confidence and, like, beauty and, like, like, everybody's already beautiful. I just needed to break out of that, like, negative self-taught and negative, like, just like the lies that I tell myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not so much like gaining the boldness. It's more of like realizing that I already have it.
It's like practicing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. Because like self-doubt, it's like it's such a limiting practice. Well, not practice, but it's such a limiting thing to do, especially in terms of like how you interact with the world and how you view yourself. So I 100% agree.
Yeah. There's so much power in the way that you think and the way that you talk,
Yeah.
So it's also like not only to talk to others, but also like how you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
So that's also another reason why I have this. You can cut that out because nobody will know.
Okay,
but yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
What are you currently struggling with?
What am I currently struggling with? I feel like I can confidently say that I don't have anything I'm struggling with.
Okay.
Because I don't see struggle as like a bad thing. Like like whatever, I don't see anything as a bad thing. I see like whatever that comes to me that is a struggle. I see it as a blessing. Like I see it as something that I can like grow from, and something that would help me, like that would like reshape my mind and like change the way that I